Alright people, we got Jared right here. Day 7, let's go Jared. Let's go. Here we go, here we go. Welcome people, how you doing this morning? Let me get a quick sip there. How you doing, man? What's going on? Day 7, that's what I'm talking about, people. Get excited. You know, let's go. Let's fucking go, come on. You excited this morning? I know I am. Have you checked in with yourself? Are you solid? You got that fire stoked? You got that critical eye locked in the hole? You using that impulse control? You got that schedule lined up. Come on now, come on now. Keep that schedule lined up. Now, something cool happened, all right? So we got Hillbilly Harry, shout out to you, bro. Finally sent me some information on Jared, right? We've been cheering Jared along. Made him a cup, made him a couple other things. We've been cheering him along, right? So he sent me some media and I put it together in a little video and I want you to take a look at the video, okay? So let's go, Jared. Here we go.
There it is. Yes! Yes, Jared! Yes! Yes, Jared!
How was that video? Wasn't that crazy? Bro, did you see some of those throws he did and that armbar tap out? Let's go. Let's go, Jared. Come on now. That's who we cheering on for the Olympics, people. Come on, we're going to get him down in Venice. You know, I already printed out the schedule, man. Already in 2028. I already printed out the schedule to see when the, medals are given out and everything like that. We're cheering him on. Now, of course, he's a champion either way in our book, right? Just even getting this level he's at right now is crazy. It's fantastic. Chasing his dream, chasing his passion, chasing his purpose. That's what men should be doing, all right? Now, I was telling Hillbilly Harry, hell, man, I'd support this kind of guy anyway. But how fortunate are we to have him in our community? Wow. A potential Olympiad. That's fantastic. That's tremendous. Anyway, so we're going to support him. We're going to keep cheering him on. And, if he does make the Olympics, man, we're going to get a big old bus and we're going to put a bunch of our SoCal contingent. We're going to go down there and support this guy, okay? We got Brandon Goat Kaboom. We got Dan Snot. We got Gnostic Ghost. We got, of course, Hillbilly Harry. We got everybody down here, okay? We're just going to rally like a big damn mob, we're going to go down there and support this guy. All right. Enough about that. Let's go, Jared. We're on board. Boom, boom, boom. Get that arm bar. Get that toss. Hip toss. I love it. I love it. Well, how you doing, right? Are you fired up now? Did that get you fired up? I hope so. I hope you're fired up today. I hope you're excited about what's going on. I hope you're out there seeing clear to what your passion and your purpose is, okay? Now, some plans could be grand, some plans could be small, but they're all important, because they all stoke the fire inside of who you are, all right? And everybody, I know we talk about this main character syndrome all the time when you're the main character and all that kind of stuff. And, you don't want to be, but you know what? You really are the main character in your story and you want to have a story. You want to have an adventure. It could be as little as trying to develop the best donut that you can make at home or it can be as big as getting on the international stage in a judo competition and going for gold. Okay? But either way, it's going to be exciting. And that's what you want in your life. You want that excitement. You want that joy. You want that passion. You know, it's very important that you keep that sparkle, and it keeps you youthful. It keeps you of the purest content of who you were when you were born onto this earth. You know, I always make the reference. Remember when you were a little kid and your parent came in and said, you know, we're going to Disneyland, or I got you your favorite candy bar, or you know, it's Christmas and look what Santa brought you, even though we don't like Santa too much. I don't go in for tricking the kids. I don't like that. Puts a wedge in between the child and the parent's relationship. I don't go for that. But I do like the concept of delighting the child. You know, I do like the concept of upholding their imagination and helping them to refine their wonderment and their curiosity and their excitement in life. You know, helping them to project their creativity through their imagination. That's crucial. That's crucial. And then utilizing that passion for that imagination to spur them on to have the discipline, to put in the hours to master whatever it is that they want to master. You know, that's what it's all about. And that's what it's all about for you too. It's what it's all about for me too. You know, we wake up at different points in our life. You got me, people? Different points we wake up. You know, Mersh said something a long time ago when I was listening to Nightwave, and it really did stick with me. And he was talking about how don't compare yourself to other people. You know, everybody starts in a different place. And trust me, brother, some people start off in the hole in their life. You know, they're born into a bad situation with bad parents or no parents or whatever it is. And they're born into a situation, abuse, emotional, physical, you name it, right? They don't have the opportunities that some other people have, right? So some people have to dig out of their hole before they can make progress, okay? And, you know, trust me, digging out of your hole is its own adventure in itself. And you're a champion if you have dug out of your hole and come back up to even. That's the truth, okay? And the amount of things that you have to learn in order to dig out of a hole is tremendous. You got me, people? So don't measure yourself against other people. Measure yourself against yourself, okay? Get out of your hole. Get going after your own pursuits. Hell, even if you're still breathing, it ain't too late. Okay, you got me? People say, oh my God, it's too late for me. Well, that's that critical eye lying to you, all right? You got to take that motherfucker and lock him in the hole. That's where he belongs. Until you use him as your secret weapon. We talked about that. But don't let him lie to you, okay? Or her. Women's lips lie too. We all know that, all right? But as long as you're breathing, it ain't too late, okay? Get that energy going, all right? Let's get after it, okay? Now, we're going to jump on down here. I know I did a lot of blabbing, but I got James over here. He's breathing down my neck, and we're going to come down here to camera 2. We got these guys right here. I already penciled in a lot of this fun stuff because, you know, I wanted to go quick, and I want it to be entertaining for you guys, okay? So I penciled in some of these guys. You might recognize them. They're ROTC crew, all right? We got Royce up here. We got Marie. We got Mersh, and we got his cat right here. We got Frozen down here. We got Pessy, and then we got Virgie over here, okay? And we got Clarence up here, of course. And we're about to knock these guys out real quick and have a good old time making some more heads, because that's what we do, all right? Now, I was thinking perhaps, you know, I know how we like to talk about, you know, some of my favorite segments is when they're talking about the park sloppers, and so I thought it'd be funny just to give them, maybe they're at, you know, maybe they're at Disneyland. Give them some Disneyland ears or something like that, you know, and put some ears on Mersh down here. Maybe he's got some Disneyland ears too, and they're all going through the park, and put some ears right here, you know, figuring out what's going on down here at Disneyland. And you know, this is just a fun little idea. Put a fun little theme on it and make it kind of funny. And I don't know, maybe Virgie has some too. I don't know if Marie wears ears. I know she took a picture with the park hoppers, but I don't know if she wears ears. Anyway, so we got our heads right here, don't we? All right, now check this out. So I got Royce right here like this, and I went ahead and drew the cube version behind him. So this is what I would envision when I'm starting to draw Royce, and then I shape it after I get the cube in there in order to round off the corners of his head and put in his chin and everything like that. And then I use very simple shapes for his features. Look at that. See, his eye is a very simple shape right there. You see that? Now, somebody really brilliant told me that nothing is ever round. Okay, so don't draw things that are round. They always have facets, like these little straights. If you'll notice, I didn't make his head round. I made it straight, 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 straight. Okay, see how I did that? That's the way to do it. That's the way to do the rounds or the curves when you're drawing. Put little straights in there. It adds so much more dimension to what you're trying to do. All right, I got my 3 sizes here. I got my fine, I got my small, I got my medium, and of course I got my big daddy over here. So I got 4. Okay, so that's what I'm rocking with today, people. That's what I'm rocking with today. I might add a little color to it later, but we're gonna come in here and we're just gonna knock this out and have a good time. We're having fun. We're enjoying life, okay? And we're gonna come in here and just do some of this inking. Can you see that? All right. So I got his. I'm just thinking about simple shapes, and I'm trying to think about the simple shapes in perspective and how to keep them symmetrical, okay? That's a big deal, all right? Now this is a fun one because we're just making Royce in a cartoon style character, okay? And he's got a great head. We got great shapes on the head, very, very noticeable and very refined, and you could tell who it is right away. So he's got a lot of really good shapes, and his beard is great to play with to make it into a character. Not like some people who have very soft features and they kind of all blend in with other people, and so you have to work really hard to make a definite character. Okay, go ahead and put his ear down here. Put his neck in there. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put in these soft lines like so, okay? Now when I say soft, I'm talking about the line weight, okay? The line weight is very thin compared to these other two. This is the thinnest line weight I have right now. So I'm just laying it in, and we might as well lay in his little cube in the background, right, that I used to demonstrate. This is what the cube looks like. This is what I'm envisioning in my mind when I'm drawing, okay? And when I'm trying to figure out, okay, where does his beard start to go up? Well, it starts to go up right here at the corner of this cube, which is about right here on his face. See that right there? So that's what I'm envisioning, okay? And I'm understanding that I'm probably gonna draw this image 2 to 3 times, okay? The first time with pencil, the second time with this light pen, and the third time with a heavier pen, okay? Now I use this triangle right here to put his face in perspective but keep it symmetrical. See how I did that? That's how I'm able, with that little triangle right there, let me hold it up so you guys can see it. That little triangle right there helps me to position the eyes correctly, okay? Now you might say, Ray, it looks like it's not in perfect perspective. Well, that's okay. I'm doing a demonstration right here, people. I'm trying to keep my words flowing as I'm drawing. You try that. You know, sometimes you run out of content to say. You know, makes you really respect those people who are doing play-by-play with the sports. You know what I mean? So we got Royce over here. We got his little park hopper hat, and he's out searching for them park hoppers. Okay. Now, of course, we got Marie right here, and then she's all beautiful and pretty and all that. She's having a good time, and she's looking at Royce with a lovely gaze. Okay, we'll put in her eyebrows right there, her nose, like so, her lips, and it's use simple shapes to get the complex lips in the right perspective. Okay, there's her dimple. Put the side of her face in there, to her chin, back up to her jaw, to her ear, and just follow it around like this. You see how I'm doing that? Follow it around. Then she has her hair. Now I'm just going to go ahead and leave the hair for later because we're going to do a lot of heavier line work in the hair. There's her eyebrows. There we go. We got and just put some of these smaller shapes in there, like so. We have her hair coming around. And then we have her looking lovingly at Royce. And Royce is mad. I don't know what he's mad about. He's looking at the line or something. Maybe it's backed up, or maybe he spotted one of the hoppers. He's all mad at him. And then I want to show you guys right here, again, a little demonstration about the cube, okay? So I just draw the cube like so. I put in the eye line, then the triangle. See how I did that? To keep her eyes and her nose in the proper perspective. Okay, directly below is going to be her lips. Then you have the underside of her jawbone coming up to her ear, back of her head, down to her neck. Like so. Can you see that? So that's basically what I'm thinking about when I'm drawing the face over the cube, okay? And I put those two steps together. Normally, you would draw the cube out, then you would go ahead and put the face on top of the cube so you could have that perspective already laid in there. But of course, I've done it like so many hundreds of thousands of times that I put those two steps together and I envision mentally the cube over her face when I'm drawing it. And so then it's like I lay it over it in my mind, and that's how I get it right. Then we're going to come down here we got old Merch down here, and of course he's got his glasses, like so. And it's okay, I'm not trying to make any of this perfect. I'm just trying to make it fit within the variance of what we're doing, right? And what do I mean by that? Well, we're making a cartoon, okay? And the cartoons are very important because the cartoon is the first step in making a real drawing, okay? Because the cartoon is just a simplified drawing of a face or a figure or whatever. But the thing that the cartoon does have that's valuable in it is the location and the proportion for all of your figures, all of your features, all of your whatever it is that you're drawing. It's going to have, it's going to have where the glasses are, how fat, how thin, and all that. And then you can lay in, the cartoon is basically a placeholder of simplified shapes, because that's what a cartoon really is. And then if you want to come back and make it a more refined drawing, a more realistic drawing, you just refine those shapes and make them more real, more complex. You give them a better shape. But you will still use all the underlying information of the size, the proportion, all of those things, the location that you found in your cartoon. So the cartoon is basically just one step along the way to a really good drawing, or a really refined or real drawing. Just like how the box is the first step in making the cartoon becomes the first step in making the real drawing. You see how it goes? These are different cycles, you see? So you do the first cycle to simplify everything, you go a little more refined, and so on and so forth until you end up at the layer of complexity that you want for your drawing. Now we're going to only stop on the cartoon version today, but we will do a more refined drawing as we get later in the 30-day challenge. Okay, people? We'll do some more fun stuff. Now this is his cat. We're putting his feet down here. And of course, the best part about Clarence is the fact that he likes to pose that butthole. He likes to turn around and see what's going on. Put his little nose in there, his little mouth. Put his little whiskers in there. See that right there? Then I'm going to put his little paw like he's reaching. Put his other paw down here. And there you go. Okay, now we're going to come back up to Mersh. Going to put the side of his head in. We're going to go ahead and put his beard. He has a rounded chin down here towards the bottom, a little bit scraggly, like so. Then it comes up to his cheek, which is a bit rounded, and then a little bit of tuft underneath his bottom lip. And there we go. We got Mersh right there, like so. Go ahead and put his finish his ear. Give a little bit of shapes to that. Now, keep in mind, if your position is correct and your proportion is correct on your drawing, the shape can be extremely simple. Okay, people? The shape can be extremely simple and it'll still read right. Okay? So don't worry about the shape. Just worry about getting the position and just worry about getting the location correct. I mean, the position and the proportion correct. I got my Ravens out there. They're throwing me off my game. Okay? They're delivering some box or something. I don't know. So we're going to come down here. We're going to talk about Frozen for a second. And Frozen's, you know, of course, the connoisseur of the cappuccino. So that's what he's drinking. He's drinking a little tiny cappuccino. And we're not worrying too much about the shapes. We're just going to try and keep them very simple. And we're going to come in here and put his glasses. There we go with his glasses. We're going to use some simple eyebrows. Like so. Put his cheek down. Now we're going to have some fun on his mustache a little bit. And some fun on his lips. We're going to take some license and make his lips very stylized, because he has good lips to stylize with. And put a little bit of, you know, something down there. A little bit something on the below his lip. Coming down here, a little tuft action on his chin. Finish the ear. Now sometimes I do that. I just run all the lines together and I try to shoot for the large masses. Now I don't know if you can see that very well. Let me show you. I just shoot for the large masses of the shapes inside the ear and kind of let the pen do what it wants to do and be abstract a little bit with it, okay? And that's kind of fun. It does. What I'm trying to really tell you guys is that you don't have to be perfect with the shape. There's so much pressure to be perfect with the shapes that you can just relax a little bit. And as long as the position, the proportion is correct, you can kind of get away with any shape you want. Okay? He's got his little cappuccino down here. You can get away with any shape you want. And as soon as you realize that, the whole world of drawing opens up to you. There's his hand. The whole world of drawing opens up to you because you realize you can't make a mistake. The reason why you can't make a mistake is because when you look with your eyes, you see the position and you see the proportion. You lay it down on the paper, and if it feels funny in here, in your emotions, you have to keep adjusting it until it doesn't feel funny anymore. Okay? And then after it doesn't feel funny, then you can worry about making that shape more complex and really getting in there and rendering what you want to render. Okay? Now we got Pesci over here. I like to put his long burger. Sometimes every time I hear the word long burger, I get hungry. I'm like, oh man, I want a long burger. You know? All right. And so Pesci's a little bit like he's definitely the good looking one of the group. He's got that strong jawline, which is a pleasure to draw because it's fun to draw a heroic style figure. We want to do that. All right, put his glasses in there. Now, if you'll notice, I'm just going to use a very simplified shape for his eyes. And his eyes might or might not look like this, but it doesn't matter because I'm using a stylized version of what I'm going to put his eyes in there. And every time you make a decision or a choice to use an abstract shape, or use a more real shape, you are shifting the focus of what the viewer is going to look at on the drawing. Okay, so in that way you can control what the viewer looks at. Obviously, the things that are more simplified, they're going to spend less time on. The things that are more realistic, they're going to spend more time on. So you use that in your own mind to kind of curate the direction and where the viewer's eye is going to go and how long it's going to spend on what and the duration and where on your drawing. Now he's got a little bit of stubble down here. A straight, strong jawline. Come up, he's got more stubble up in here. Now I'm still using the light pen because the light line weight because his stubble is soft. It's not very strong and prominent. And put a little bit of hair flip back here, like so. And then let's go ahead and add some fun ears, some mouse ears, right there on the back of his hat, like that. All right. Don't forget to do the little bit of his glasses, because people be saying, Ray, how's his glasses stay on his face if you don't put that other, you know, I don't know, handle or whatever it is. I don't know. Anyway, we got our lines almost lined in. Now we're gonna go do Virgie real quick. Okay, so let me shift Virgie down here. And if you haven't noticed, Virgie is Scooby-Doo's high cousin. Right? And he's really fun to draw. And he really looks like this in real life. I've seen him. And what we're going to do after this is we're going to come in and we're going to take our thicker line weights and we're going to adjust our drawing how we want to adjust it to kind of give it some gravitas, some weight. Okay, people? What are we doing? We're running right on 25 minutes. We're doing good. We're doing good. This should be done quickly because this is the most time-consuming part. Laying in these lines right here. Okay, let me put his ear in here. He's got his little Mickey Mouse hat on. Like so. There's the bottom of his chin. He's got a couple of stragglers hanging off his chin right there. Maybe he's got a couple. He maybe didn't shave all the way today. You know, he's too busy rolling his blunt or whatever. All right. So there we go. We got him right there. Now I wanted to show you this as well. I did a little outline or a little simplified drawing with the simple shapes of what Virgie would look like. Okay. So you have this large shape right here, and then his nose is just basically a box. Okay. Like so. Put the nose on the end of it. There's the side of the box as it recedes back into his face. Then I have my triangle right there like so. You have an ear, and then you have an ear like that. Okay? And that's how you would do the simplified structural drawing for Virgie. Just like that. Okay? Pretty funny. Alright. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come in, we're going to have some fun with the thicker. We're going to take the medium guy and the small guy. Okay, remember this guy was the fine. This was fine, what I just drew with. Now I have the small, and then I have the medium, and then I also have big guy right here. Okay. Then we're gonna go in here and we're just gonna go ahead and strengthen some of these lines and fill in some of these. And you'll notice that as soon as I start to fill these in, how much stronger the drawing really becomes. It really becomes tremendously stronger, even with just a little bit of the added line weight. And you kind of just pick and choose where to put the thicker line weight based upon the shadows or the darkness. His beard is a salt and pepper beard, that's why I'm doing it like this. And his mustache is darker. Underneath his lip is darker. Bottom of the jaw is going to be darker because it's going to catch some of that shadow. Go ahead and strengthen up this heart a little bit. Okay, so that's what we got Royce right there. Okay, now we got Marie over here. We're gonna have to do some of her hair. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna step up to a thicker, the medium guy, or I mean is this the medium guy? I don't know, the big guy. And we're gonna do this. And this is gonna save us time, and it's also gonna allow us to play with the chisel or the bevel part of the marker, and allow us to give us a little bit of a different feel to her hair. And that's kind of what we want to do. We want to have a little bit different feel, and it's also going to save us time. They come down here to her ponytail. Like so. And we'll go back up into the small. Put her brows in. Bottom of her nose. Put her eye. Like so. The top of her eyelashes, we definitely want to get those in there. Tip of her nose, bottom of her lip, bow of her lip, bottom of her neck, we kind of just pick and choose where we're going to go with that. Okay, now we're going to go back over here with the cat. Now we could do a couple things with the cat, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blast the whole thing black, because he is a black cat. Clarence is a black cat, but that's not the main reason why I'm blasting it black. The main reason why I'm blasting the entire thing black like this is because I want to highlight this part right here, because I'm going to leave that white. So we can highlight his anatomy. Like that. And it's okay if you recede away, you kind of get a little bit of the cross-hatching effect. And that's what we're going to kind of do up here. We're going to just cross-hatch it a little bit to try to give that illusion of depth. And you might have to play around with how you handle the inks, because sometimes you might find that once you make it go black, it destroys the illusion that you created. Then you just have to work with it, see what you want, see how it goes. See, some of these I have to break up those white lines so I can make his nose stand out more and his eye stand out more and his mouth. Otherwise, it won't read right. And we want it to read right, don't we? All right, now let's come back up in here. Let's get Mersh going. Gonna put some shadow underneath his hat. We're right on 31 minutes. I'm trying to hurry up. Here we go. Keep it short, but keep it fun. Okay. We grab the thicker marker. Get his hat, get his ears in there. Go ahead and make those black. Have some fun. It's okay. They don't have to be perfect. Just the texture, because you can always come back in and add really cool colors, you know. And it's always a lot of fun to add the colors in between the black strokes. It makes it look really nice. And I tend to always like to do the reflection in the glasses. It's a lot of fun to do too. We'll just do a simplified version of it today. Get the underside of the glasses heavier. The nose. Now we'll go ahead and get his mustache in here. His mustache is dark. The rest of his beard is a little bit lighter, so we'll just go ahead and do this simplified cross hatching. Okay, we're just doing streaks. No big deal. Okay. Back of his neck, the ear, run up, bottom of the glasses, and then fill this one in because it's below his lip. And this cigarette, he's got a really long cigarette. I was trying to make it even longer, but to contrast with the black of the cat, that was my initial idea, but it just didn't happen. All right, let me go ahead and knock out Frozo Asian down here. And you can choose to attack different parts of the drawing at different times. You don't have to do everything the same way. Maybe some things appeal to you to do more at certain times at different drawings, and other things appeal differently. Like, I really like the facial hair, it's fun. Let's say, Frozen, is that you? I said, yeah, it's me. Go ahead and get the hat ready to go. Little Mickey Mouse here. Shadow on his ear. Little cappuccino action. There we go. Then we come down here to Pesci, do the same thing. And kind of get stylish with it, you know? Don't make everything have to be perfect. The more you worry about things having to be perfect, the worse it's going to come out on your paper. It's a lot like dating that way, you know? Just go and have fun, have a good time, all right? If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong, okay? So make sure you're having fun. If you're not, figure out why and fix it. If you feel obligated or something, get rid of that, okay? We're going to go ahead and mix in here with this jawline, like so. He has those really thin wireframe glasses, so you can't really see him too much. Just leave it like that. And there you go. We got, oh, I forgot his mustache. That's key. You can't forget that. He has a nice dark mustache right there. And underneath his lip, like so. Then we got Pesci, all right? Now we might even come in here and put a little glint in his eye, because, you know, he's got that little excitement going on, right? He's got that little glint in his eye. He's all excited about it, okay? And then we come up here to our old boy Virgie, having a good time. I'm going to start on his nose, and I'm just going to bang it out like that, okay? In the bottom of his lip, his crooked-ass teeth. We got his chin right here. His little smile. He's always happy. You know why? Because he's rolling a joint. That's why. His eyebrow. Little hat. Little Mickey Mouse hat. There we go. Okay. And then right there's the, how's that look? That looks like the guys. And Marie. So that's awesome. Maybe we go ahead and fix her dimple a little bit. And then what I'll probably do is throw some color over it and have a good time with it. You know, not too bad, not too shabby. Okay. And his eyes looking a little crooked, so we'll go ahead and fix that just a little bit. There we go. Got it. And that's basically how it's done, people. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna get the ROTC guys. They're out in Disney World, out there in Florida, and they're looking out for them park sloppers. Okay, the big ass park sloppers, and they're all undercover. They all got their Mickey Mouse ears, so they blend in with the crowd. They're undercover, right? As they're looking for these park sloppers, which ain't hard to find, you know, because they're the size of a billboard. And I think that's pretty funny. All right. I always love those segments. Those are great. Anyway, hey, let's get after it today. Let's get after your adventure. Let's get after my adventure. And let's fucking go, Jared. Come on now. Let's get after it.